Hey, thanks for checking out Fast Eddie's Chop Shop. Here you have every right to be wrong, and I'm going to break it down for you. Listen, this debate means everything, and it means nothing all at the same time. It means everything if you're willing to do what I'm about to suggest. Do you believe that this is the most consequential election of our lifetime? I'm betting if you believe that Donald Trump is a dictator, you probably do. And if you're like me, who believes that Kamala Harris is going to just continue us on down the path to socialism, then you probably do as well. Here's all that I ask. Take notes and or record it. It's going to be on, it shows my age. You don't even need to record it. It'll be on YouTube to fast forward and rewind and for all of eternity after it's done. But I want you to go point by point. And when you're watching your news, whether it be Fox or whether it be CNN or whether you're smart and actually get your news independently, I want you to go point by point on everything each candidate says and look up whether or not they're lying. Because my side's going to say Kamala's lying, and that side's going to say that Donald Trump is lying. One of them is true, and one of them is false. So I ask that you look them up point by point, but do this. If they say that Donald Trump told a lie, I want you to look up the video or the comment directly by him of what they said he said, because that's a lot of what this is, what he said, or what he did. Look it up, and then look up the minute before and the minute after to create context. It's like the North Carolina thing where they said that, he said that the Nazis were, great people or whatever. No, he didn't. Listen to the whole video in context. He absolutely did not. Everything that they say he's lied about or oh, he's crazy, he said this or what. Look up the whole video or the whole thing in context. And I'll do the same thing with Kamala. And then I want you to look up, since 2015, what each one of them's views were. So if Kamala says that she's for fracking and you live in Pennsylvania and that's important to you in your state, I want you to look up since 2015 what she said about fracking. And I think you might be surprised because she's going to say she's for fracking. All I ask is that you do your research. And at the end of that research, and I'm not talking if you watch CNN and they say Trump did this, don't listen to what they said he said. Watch what he said and watch the context around it. Watch a minute or two before and a minute or two after. Independently. Go online, independently, type in some context to watch the video and watch it in context. And after you do that, ask yourself who the liars are and then vote the opposite. I personally believe that if you do that, Donald Trump will win every single state and every single electorate. Now, I said that this debate was going to mean everything, like I just talked about, or it's going to mean nothing. It's going to be nothing to the people who would vote for a dead person or an urn, or people who've already done true research. I've done my true research, and I found that Kamala Harris is a liar and Donald Trump tells the truth, sometimes to the point where I almost want to tell him, Donald, don't say that. It's the truth, but, shine it on a little bit. Tone it down a little bit. But if you can vote for Kamala, A, you're insane, or B, you haven't done your research. And if you're a Kamala Harris voter, do your research. Take the challenge, unless you're afraid to be proven wrong. See, I believe that the future of this country deserves a little bit of research. I believe that it deserves a conversation. I believe that it deserves what might amount to a couple hours of your life. Actually, about an hour. If you do it fast and you start seeing who the liar is, you'll start to catch the drift of it. But I'm talking if you're really entrenched in Kamala. And again, I'm telling all Trump people too. Do your research. I just happen to have already done it and already know. If you research Kamala Harris, she's a liar. Also, I want to ask a very important question. It is what has got Ronald Reagan elected, actually. Ask yourself this question. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And here's the funny part. 4 years ago, we were still in COVID. And I contend coming out of a Donald Trump COVID to today, I was better off 4 years ago. And I'm betting that unless you're lazy and sitting around and waiting for checks from my tax dollars, I'm betting other than that, you are not better off than you were 4 years ago. If you want to buy a home, how possible is that right now? I used to go to the grocery store and spend a couple $100 and fill carts, sometimes 2 carts, depending on what I was, eating like kings. I went to the grocery store the other day and filled 1 cart. Not even like the old days where it'd go into a second cart. I've got a lot of folks eating here. And it was like $700 and some, and I was still missing a few items. Had to go to another grocery store because they didn't have it there. And by the time I was done, it was $900. If you want to eat like you did 4 years ago, and you're a family of, well, it's hard for me to tell. There's, 6, 7 of us. So it's about 8. So if you're a family of 4, what is it, about $400 a week? $1,600 a month? Maybe even 2 if you want to eat good, eat steak and all that. It's absolutely insanely ridiculous. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago when we were still with COVID? Yeah, and guess what? They're trying to bring it back a little bit. You know, I watched my first football game of the season yesterday, and there was let's just say a virus ad on TV encouraging you to do certain things. So, guys, everybody watching this is the most important election of our lifetime. But again, it means nothing if you're going to vote for a dead person. If you're like, what is that, Destiny? I don't care if it was an urn, I would vote. Listen, if you're dumb enough to vote for Harris just because, and she wins, you deserve everything that's coming your way. I don't deserve it, but you do. And I challenge everybody, please, for the love of God, this debate, do your research. Otherwise, this debate doesn't matter. Because without research, some of you, I'm going to vote for Trump. Without research, I'm going to vote for Kamala. Very few people are truly in the middle right now. I hear that, the undecided voters. How many of you are there? I worry that in the short amount of time that Kamala's been speaking, if she hasn't frightened you, something's wrong. But I guess there are some people who have their heads down, they're working, they got CNN in the background because that's what they had on 20 years ago. If that's you, turn on your internet, do some research. I beg of you. This election means everything. Fast Eddie's Chop Shop over and out. Let me know your thoughts.